Welcome to the Unholy Alliance, except in this time we have two pretty strong major alliances. We have the Bowling Bullies over here. We've got Even Dennis. Over here, I've got X-Treme Chaos. Yesterday, Raul Renteria successfully defended the tag team title. One of these two teams over here will have the opportunity to dethrone them and end their reign in March. So I'm going to start over here. Hello, Eva.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. Are you ready for the match today?
Ready as I'm gonna be. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Now, Dennis, I saw earlier you had your arsenal. So explain to me what your arsenal is.
Today, well, I seen we're going up against the big guys today, so I'm just going to try to put my best ball down the lane today. I'm not even going to try to differentiate what's what. Just going to put it in the lane.
Oh, no, I don't mean your arsenal of equipment. I mean your arsenal of drinks at the bar.
No, I didn't start that yet. Right now, I just got a Corona. I just got a Corona right now. Usually, you know, I'm a Ray and nephew man, so I'm just going Corona right now. That's all I'm doing right now.
Right now, that's going to increase. I'm very aware of that.
He could drive, so,
Yeah.
you know, he could do what he want to do. Well, we're good.
We're good for now.
They're bringing their equipment. They're bringing their drinks. How are you going to handle that?
I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm good. The more, the better.
And I'm assuming that you condone this behavior.
Yep, for sure.
Just a reminder to everybody, if you're going to be watching this match on Bowl TV, yes, I understand it is the USB-C, sometimes it's a PBA, and everybody is prim and proper. This is the U.B.A. We don't do that. We deal with the amount of pins that you put up there, and there's going to be a lot, but we also deal with the amount of drinks that they're going to bring down, and that's also going to be a lot. So, from the Bowling Bullies, X-Treme Chaos, good luck. Shake hands. You're going to see a lot of high scores and maybe a couple of high tides. This is Gordon Pepper. Welcome to the U.B.A. All right, good luck. Welcome to this very fun tag team match. My name is Gordon Pepper, and this is the #1 tag team contenders match. We have the Bowling Bullies, who are comprised of Dennis Knox and Eva Purcell, and they'll be going up against X-Treme Chaos. They are Tim Robinson and Teddy Longanker. I will explain a little bit about this as we go along, because a number of people probably have never seen a tag team format before. So hold on one quick second when I find out who's starting the match. Dennis, are you starting or are they starting? Option is yours. Okay, good luck. All right, so as in any regular match, you have one bowler bowling one frame, their opponent's bowling two, and it goes 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. So that, usually according to USB-C match play, is normal. What is not normal is the fact that there is one score and there are two bowlers that are going to be bowling it. The reason why it's called a tag team is that the bowlers will be tagging in their partners throughout the game. You must tag 4 times, no more, no less. The first bowler that starts must bowl the first 3 frames, and they also must finish and throw the last frame of the game. Everything else, well, that's up for the teams to figure out. As the game goes on, you're going to be seeing a lot of strategy that's going on here between everybody. All right, no, that's do it again. So yeah, restart. All right, now we're starting the match. Now we're good. So what's going to wind up happening in this case is that you have 4 tags that's going to happen throughout the game. Now, when they decide to use the tags, that is up to the teams. You can tag in the middle of a frame. You can tag near the end of a frame. You can do whatever you want, except there must be 4 tags, and whoever... That looks familiar, and whoever starts the game must finish the game. We'll get to all the complications later on. There actually aren't many complications going on. But we'll get to strategies momentarily. Now, the #1 seed coming in is the Bowling Bullies. They are led by Dennis Knox. He's starting the game off for the Bullies, and they are located in Brooklyn, New York. New York. And before you accuse me of making fun of them, I was born in Brooklyn, so I am not making fun of the New Yorkers. And I do have a little bit of a Brooklyn accent. Cameraman Tony Nieves is also from Brooklyn. So we're going to have a little bit of fun here. X-Treme Chaos is from southern New Jersey. And they actually got to the Elite 8 of Battle Bowl next year, so they are a very good club. Right now, Tim Robinson Jr. will be starting for them. First shot out right at the gate. That ball looks good. It is. X-Treme Chaos is going to be starting with strike, and we move on. Now, UBA stands for the Underground Bowling Association. I'll tell you a little bit about us. We have close to 300 teams, and those teams are located for, I would say, between 1/3 and 1/2 of the United States. Our membership is in the tens of thousands, which always makes it fun. There's around, an average team is between 40 to 50 members. Some teams have as few as 15 to 20. Some teams have as many as 80 or 90. There's at least one team that I'm aware of that has over 100. So Robinson right now starting with a double for X-Treme Chaos. They're going to take the early lead right now. Now, this, again, is a best of 7. The team that wins 4 games first wins the match. And they will be going after the title in March. The title is currently held by the team of dysfunctional bowlers from Northeast New Jersey, Raul Renteria and Brian Andes. Currently hold the belts. Dysfunctional bowlers have actually both tag team belts right now. They have the Classic and the Unlimited. You'll see them next week. Later on today, if you're going to stick around and hang out with us, there's going to be a match where Dave Nagelhout, who is the current Northeast Heavyweight Champion, will be defending the title against another bowler from New York, Alex Prell of the Hit Squad. But that will be later on today. Right now, we're going to chat about this match. Knox right now with a strike in the second, double here in the third. Well, the worst they can be would be behind 10 pins. That ball's got to hurry a little bit. Definitely made the adjustment there. That ball did hurry in a little bit. Nice shot from Dennis Knox. Now, after Tim throws his third frame, I'll explain what happens. If Tim wants to keep the lead, he'll have to match what Dennis did, which is to throw a strike. This is going to be a pretty high-scoring match, I'm going to think here. Robinson right now, that ball looks good, and I could not have been more wrong on that. 7-10 split coming up. Well, not only are they not going to keep the 10-pin lead, they're going to lose the lead. Bowling Bullies are going to have first shot at it. Dennis is listening to me and nodding in approval. And I get the first laugh of the day. Even if he makes the spare, Bowling Bullies will be up. And he's not going to make the spare. He's not going to make anything. It's good. Now, each team has now bowled 3 frames. What you can wind up happening at this point is that the teams have the option if they want to tag in their partners. That must happen 4 times. It looks like Dennis has already signaled Eva that Eva's going to be coming into this game. Right now, there is no tag between Tim and Teddy. That is a nice shot, though. And to be quite honest, that was a good-looking ball in the third frame. I don't know how we got 7-10 out of that, but we did. And because we did, Bowling Bullies right now have the lead. It's going to be tag number 1. Eva Purcell comes in for the Bullies. And again, I'm going to be marking all this down. Purcell right now, her debut in the match. The ball's going to check in a little bit. She's going to get the mix. No, she will not. 7-pin. Which is not terrible. That is certainly a makeable spare. And assuming that she makes the spare, they will tentatively have the lead. Actually, no, they will have the lead regardless. So the rules in tag team is you must make 4 tags. When you make it is there, that's actually a pretty good play in terms of a tag because they know with a mark they're still going to retain the lead. She did good and threw a strike, no problems. Lady E looks like she's going to make the spare, and she will. Now, each bowler has nicknames on the back of their jerseys, if you notice. So Lady E right now is Eva Purcell. We're going to chat about Teddy's momentarily. Just as a reminder, it's 1-2-2-2-2. Teddy will eventually be bowling, but Eva's got to throw her 5th frame first. So we are going to eventually see the debut of Teddy Longacre in this match, but not before Eva Purcell throws her 5th frame. There's a shot up there that looks decent. Oh, she gets everything. 7-9 falls down. That will guarantee that the Bowling Bullies will continue to have the lead. Now we will see the debut of this match of Teddy Longacre, a.k.a. the Dry Lane Assassin. That is the nickname on his jersey. Dry Lane Assassin comes up. Here's his first ball of this match. Ooh, 7-pin comes up. Thought he was going to get it on the mix. The mixer so far this weekend, that's been the sweet spot of where to put the ball in the lane. Usually when they try to bury in the pocket, if it's not completely buried, you'll leave a corner pin, 7-10. In this case, we saw what happened to Tim earlier on. He left the 7-10 split. In this case, light mixer, that's been good. Dry Lane Assassin right now looking to make the spare. Assuming that he does, the deficit will stay at 15 pins for Extreme Chaos. Longacre shoots a shot. I don't know about that one. Oy. Not good, and that is the first makeable open of the evening for either team. First makeable, obviously you had the 7-10. That's not exactly a makeable conversion. However, that was there, and now the Bullies have a huge opportunity to take advantage of game 1. That being said, Longacre is up right now, 6th frame. Bowling Bullies right now are up at least 27, potentially more, depending on what happens here. That ball looks better. It is. Gets the 10 out. Nice shot there by Longacre. Extreme Chaos right now. And again, both teams are used to feeling their oats a little bit, especially game 1 of a 7-game match. There's no reason to panic if you win or lose. In this case, obviously, you would prefer to win. But this is not a sprint. This is a marathon, especially in this format where you're looking at best of 7. Purcell is staying in for the Bowling Bullies. Oh, that ball needs to hook out a little bit. It does. A Brooklyn from Purcell. She's not too happy about it. Dennis is thrilled about it. Bowling Bullies right now starting to increase their lead. We're going into the 7th frame of game 1. Bullies with a 37-pin lead over Extreme Chaos right now. Purcell is still in. Keep in mind, again, there needs to be 4 tags that are made. Bullies still need to have 3 more. Extreme Chaos also still needs to have 3 more. And this is important because it doesn't matter if you win the game. If you do not get the correct amount of tags in there, you will lose. Purcell right now, that ball looks real good. And it is. Gets the 10-pin out. 3 in a row for the Bullies. Bullies right now, if they go out the door, 269 versus 232 for Extreme Chaos. Now, I was joking around earlier about bowling high scores and getting drinks and stuff like that. These bowlers know how to bowl. Right now we have a tag in. Oh, 10-pin. That is tag number 2 for Extreme Chaos. They have 2 more they need to make. All these bowlers clearly know how to bowl. And again, if you're going up a list of 50 people to get to this point, you better know how to bowl. Robinson makes a spare. Impressive make. We go into the 8th frame. Bowling Bullies right now up by 47 in the 8th frame. If they go out the door again, 269. Extreme Chaos, if they go out, 222. So Extreme Chaos right now has a very long row to hoe. This almost certainly needs to be a strike. It is. Robinson right now getting the strike that Extreme Chaos really needed at this point. So now we have a tag coming in on the 8th frame. That is tag number 2 for the Bowling Bullies. So both teams right now, 2 more tags they need to make. Just as a reminder, in this tag team format, whoever starts the match, which is Dennis, must throw the last ball. He doesn't necessarily have to start the 10th frame, but he does have to throw the last ball in the 10th frame. Knox coming up, looking to make this a 4-bagger. He got it. UBA, we call that the Connect 4, and he connected it. He's going to tag right now. That is tag number 3 to Eva. Lady E. Now, the key in tag team, sometimes you have one bowler that is locked in, and then the other bowler is trying to hold on and catch up. In this case, bowling bullies have both bowlers locked in, and when you have that, that's when you're going to be getting a lot of high scores, and that's when you're going to make it a very long day for your opponents. So right now, looking to make it 5 in a row. If that ball goes in, it does. Both bowlers with the buried line right now. And this one is starting to be mathematically set. Right now, bowling bullies have 3 tags. They only need to have 1 more tag. Extreme Chaos, that is tag number 3. So now Longacre is going to be going in the 9th frame. Again, this is only game 1. There's a long way to go in this match. However, if the bullies have both bowlers lined in, and right now they're dead set, that is going to bode very well for them during the course of this match. Longacre right now, not set yet. 2-4-5 up there. So mathematically, the game for them is out. Even if the bowling bullies open, they're still going to have more than enough for Extreme Chaos. What Extreme Chaos is really hoping for is for a tag mathematical screw-up from the bullies. And we have seen mathematical tag screw-ups before. That being said, I don't think the bullies are going to do that because they're smart. Both teams are smart. Again, that's how you get to the number 1 contenders match at this point. So tag number 4 has come in. That is a completed and successful tag set. Tim Robinson's going to be coming in. Tim right now. That ball looks good. Bowling bullies are not going to score around. They're making that 4th and final tag, which is exactly what you should be doing. So now they have a completed tag setup. Dennis will be finishing out the game for the bullies. Tim will be finishing out the game for Extreme Chaos. Chaos right now gets the pin. Extreme Chaos will finish somewhere in the 170-180 range. However, the bowling bullies right now, both bowlers are lined in. In this case, if I'm Derek, Derek has already said to himself, going to go long. Derek is actually being real smart on this. You could already tell, I'm sorry, I said Derek. Dennis is really being really smart on this. He's playing area shots right now. On this, he's playing smart. These are what, if you know, that's one of the advantages about blowing out the other team, especially in an early game. If you know you've got the win, you really want to play an area shot right now. You really want to check the lanes, see what's going on. I'm not sure if you like that shot. You probably didn't, but it's a good time to do the area check. Game 1 goes to the bowling bullies, 231-180. Bullies are up 1-0. Now for game 2, their partners start. So in this case, Teddy Longacre is going to start for Extreme Chaos, and Eva Purcell will set up for the bullies. When you're ready. So Lady E right now is going to hang out. Teddy's going to throw the first ball in lane 1, then she's going to go 1 and 2, etc. So again, standard USBC match. It's a little bit unconventional in terms of tag teams, but that's what makes it fun. There's a lot of strategy now that's involved. It's not just how well you can bowl. Eventually, there's going to be transition. You're going to have to figure out who's better, who's worse, and that shot looked a heck of a lot better than what he did in game 1. Longacre with a very strong ball to start game 2. It's one of the things that we saw yesterday in the classic tag team matchup. That match went to 7. And again, won by dysfunctional bowlers. Whoever wins this match will be going up against them in March. And the tag team titles will be on the line. Purcell starts game 2. That ball's a little bit on the high side. Oh, leaves the 4 wiggling. Could have gotten the strike. Also could have left her friends the 6 and the 10 pin up there. So all things being equal, I think that's a not bad result, shall we say. So if you are just tuning in, we are just started Game 2. Game 1 goes to the #1 seeded Bullies. If they bully their way to 3 more games, they will have a title shot in March against dysfunctional bowlers that currently hold the title. That looks good only at the end. Haven't really needed to see Purcell throw many spare attempts because for most of Game 1, they threw nothing but strikes. Now, let me explain a little bit more about the UBA regions. There's 2 regions. There's a Northeast region and a Southeast region. We also do have teams on the West Coast. We have teams in California and in Vegas. But right now for the World Championship Series, the Eastern region encompasses teams anywhere from as far up as Rhode Island, and they compete in the Northeast North Division. We have a Northeast South District as well. And that can go all the way down to the DMV. That's what we like to call it. Second ball here. This time she does strip the 4-pin. And Bullies with 2 marks. Extreme Chaos, however, if Longacre throws a strike here, that'll be a double. They'll take the quick lead in Game 2. So the Northeast region is anywhere as up as Rhode Island and is anywhere down as we like to call it the DMV, which is Maryland, District of Columbia, and Virginia. Virginia is the midpoint, so you have some teams that comprise the Northeast, some teams comprise the Southeast. Teddy Longacre threw that second shot. He didn't like it. He went down. Again, got lucky here. 3-6 up on the board. Not too thrilled about that shot, but again, just like Eva's shot over on lane 2, doesn't really get penalized. He's on a strike. So if he makes a spare, we'll be tied up at 20 apiece. Of course, the only person right now that has missed a Maples player is Longacre. Hold on. Aye. And now that's going to be 0 for 2 on Makeable spares. Teddy right now, 3rd frame coming up. So how quickly bowling turns. Extreme Chaos had a shot to take early lead in Game 2, and now they're in an early deficit going into 3rd frame. Longacre right now, he's looking different line. He's a little bit annoyed. That's a little bit of a check. 2-5 up there. Now again, both bowlers are in the middle of their 3rd frame. When they complete their 3rd frame, then they have the option to tag or not. Longacre, that looks a lot better of a spare, and he makes it. Longacre with the spare. At least keeps them marking. You certainly, and bowling is a long game with 10 frames, but you certainly don't want to put yourself too deep in a hole. Especially when you're bowling against the bowling bullies, so they already shot at 230 in Game 1, and if it wasn't for area check, that could have been a lot higher. Purcell right now looking for a double. She gets it. They're up by 32. She does not get it. 10-pin. So it could have been a lot worse for Extreme Chaos. The worst that they're going to be is down 12. At this point, I believe this is the first corner pin that anybody's going to have to shoot so far. Actually, no, that's not true. Purcell right now, is that ball going to get there? It will. So, Bullies are up by 12. Both teams are on spares. Both teams have finished the 3rd frame, and Ava immediately tags out to Dennis Knox. Dennis will be starting the 4th frame. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing Tim Robinson up there in the 4th frame also. Bullies maintaining a 12-pin lead going into the 4th frame. Knox right now, that ball's going to have to hurry a little bit. Almost leaves a 7 to go along with the 10. Both teams have decided that they want to play on the outside line. Swinging the ball out there a little bit. I'm sure they're both trying to figure out something. Right now, nobody's figured out anything in terms of that layout. And yes, it's the UBA. We do get to be a little bit snarky here on occasion. Not too much snarky, but snarky. And yipes. Apparently, Dennis needs to take lessons from Eva on how to make a corner pin. You know, you've seen this, and I don't want to be too stereotypical, but when you see these matches when you have a male bowler and a female bowler, the females are much, and I mean much better at converting spares. Of course, if you, Tim, right now, I was going to say, of course, if you throw a strike, you don't need to make a spare. Not the case over here. Tim Robinson has tagged in for Extreme Chaos. That is tag number 1 for them. They have 3 more left. Bowling Bullies have 3 more left on their side. If he makes this, they'll keep the lead. It'll take the lead, and he does. Not the lead. Actually, not the lead quite yet. Chaos right now with a strike will be at 67. Bowling Bullies have 68 in the 4th frame. Scoring right now not as high as game 1. Both teams are trying to figure this out. Clearly, there's a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of splashing. They're all almost using the exact same line. Robinson's ball, that looks good. A little bit high, 4-pin. Pace of scoring right now a lot lighter than game 1. Robinson right now looking to make the spare, and he will. So Tim Robinson right now has them trailing by 2, and that is, of course, with the assumption that Bowling Bullies mark. If they don't mark, they will take the lead. Knox up here right now, looking to strike. He does. So 68-66 Bowling Bullies in the 4th frame. Bowling Bullies up by 2 pins and a strike as we go into the 6th frame. This is game 2. The Bullies are already up 1-0 on game 1. Knox right now looking for a double on the Bullies. Does he get the mix? No, he does not. 7-pin. Extreme Chaos had a little bit of something going game 1. They've got a lot of spares here game 2. If they can get something going, door is open so that they can come in, take the lead. That ball looks good. No, it does not look good. That 7-pin is still up there. Dennis turned around like, oh, I thought I had that one, and that ball didn't hook. All of a sudden, Extreme Chaos has a major opportunity to get right back into this one and take the lead. Longacre comes back in. That is tag number 2 for Extreme Chaos. Longacre here, 6th frame, looking for something good. 10-pin. Well, if he makes the spare, they take the lead. If he doesn't, Bowling Bullies will still be up by 2 pins. Now, there are 6 divisions in the Northeast. There is heavyweight, which is anybody of any average. There is fixins, any female of any average. There's 2 average classifications. Cruiserweight is 200 to 215. Welterweight is 199 and under. Longacre, that ball's going to hold. No, it's not. It looks like he may have some issues with the footing at this point. So right now, 6th frame, 96-94. Bowling Bullies are up. Now, Tim and Teddy are having a little conversation over here. Tim wants in. There's a tag. That is tag number 3 to Tim Robinson. in the 7th frame. Now, this is an interesting tag. Now, as I said before, Longacre needs to make one more tag. He's got to finish the 10th, but he doesn't have to show up until the last ball. Is he going to hit the 10? Yes, he is. And if Tim Robinson keeps on striking and doing that, we're not going to be seeing Longacre until the last ball in the 10th frame. But again, they're allowed to do that. That is tag team. Gauntlet has now been thrown. Eva is now back in. That is tag number 2. Purcell right now, 7th frame. That ball's going to check up a little bit. Does not. 4-pin. Doesn't check up a little bit. Checks up too much. Not sure if you can hear that, so I'm going to say what's going on. Teddy goes, the first thing about you getting the bowls that I get to have a beer. Teddy's going to go refresh and have some imbibements. Eva Purcell right now, that ball looks dead solid. Perfect. So, as I was jokingly saying earlier, the women are better spare shooters than the guys. And before everybody beats me up on this, there's only been 2 opens, and they've both been by 2 opens in terms of weapon spare misses in this game, and they've both been by Dennis Knox. And then you can throw in 2 more opens on Extreme Chaos' side. Eva, no issues. Eva coming up. So that ball looks a little high. Well, this is interesting. So we have the 3-pin. Now, if she makes this, Bowling Bullies will still be up by at the moment. And if you're seeing on the other side, you'll understand what I mean when I say by the moment. But first things first, she's got to make the spare. First things first. And she'll make the spare. So, Eva will make the spare. However, and I say for the moment, because the Bowling Bullies right now are on a spare. Extreme Chaos in the 7th is up on a strike. And the lead is only 1, which means if Tim Robinson gets a strike here, Extreme Chaos will take the lead. And that ball looks good to me. Light Mix gets it. 4 goes down. Extreme Chaos will take the lead going into the 9th frame. It is now Extreme Chaos that's up. They're up by at least 9 going in. They can make it 19 with another strike here. And another strike here will guarantee that they cannot get locked out by the Bowling Bullies going into the end of Game 2. Robinson right now, that ball looks buried. It is 3 in a row for Extreme Chaos. And they found the right time to turn it on at the end of Game 2. Dennis now goes in to tag in the 9th frame on Game 3. That is tag number 3. They got 1 more to go. There's that ball coming in. That ball looks good. Oh, my goodness. 5, 7, 10. Whee! Paul Rodriguez has just shown up. I blame him. Paul Rodriguez is going to take a picture. Paul Rodriguez, one of the UBA fellow announcers like myself. Now, in the UBA, we have something called the Silly Cam, where if someone leaves some crazy splits, we take pictures of it. I don't know what we're going to call that. That's a mess. That's what that's called. Well, Dennis take at least 2 here. No. Yeah, we're going to use the G-rated version of that, which is what the sweater was that. But the sweater is this. The best bowling Bullies can do right now, thanks to that, is a 170. Extreme Chaos, right now, they do not need a mark. If bowling Bullies go out, they will need 6 pins on the first shot. Ava will finish out the 10th frame. That is a completed tag set for the Bullies. And that trips the 4-pin. To be quite fair, though, in Dennis Knox's defense, that was a good ball. I don't know what you can say about that. Then again, I thought Tim Robinson, yeah, Ava's going thumbs down. I thought Tim Robinson's buried ball that left the 7-10 split was also good, so what the heck do I know? Or in the words of Chuck Barris at the Gong Show, I thought that act was great, but then again, I like mold. Old game show references, I'm full of those. Anyway. Second ball up. And again, for anything here, this has got to be a strike, and it's not, and the game's over. Well, maybe the game is over, and I say maybe because, again, Extreme Chaos does not have their 4th tag in there yet. I am assuming they are smart enough to do that. If they inexplicably don't, then Bowling Bullies will win despite shooting a 150, whatever the heck they're going to shoot, because she's not going to get to a 160. Because to do that, she's going to convert this, and she could convert this. She's definitely good enough to convert this, but I don't think she's going to be aiming to convert this. And she wasn't. She'll get 2, though. So Bowling Bullies 159 on game 2, which is a lot lower than their 230-plus game in game 1. Robinson right now still in. Keep in mind, Teddy Longacre must throw that last shot. Also keep in mind, the total wood does not matter in this case. And there's the tag. That looks good. Longacre is in. So that's their 4th completed one. This is going to be a completed set in the books. Again, these bowlers know how to bowl. Just like everybody else. Sometimes they get confused with the lane conditions. And sometimes the oil comes down, and it's called adjustment time. And despite the fact that Extreme Chaos looked very Extreme Chaos in the first 6 frames, they're going to hit the last 6. And they really needed to. And they're actually going to shoot a deuce out of this. 214 if we get one more strike here. And it looks like we won't. Still a good game. At the end of game 2, Extreme Chaos 212, Bowling Bullies 159. We are tied at 1 game apiece. Now we go to game 3. Dennis Knox will start us off. I'm sure Dennis would like to get the bad taste out of his mouth of what happened at the end of game 2. Right now, we're tied 1 game apiece. And again, whoever wins 4 gets the #1 contender spot in March. Knox right now, first ball out of the gate. That's a lot better than what he left before. 4-pin, though. And again, just a reminder for anybody that tuned in, first bowler in each team must throw and complete 3 frames. So if anybody asks, wait, he went open, why are they still in? They're still in because they're stuck there for the first 3 frames. Knox right now, that spare looks good. Got it. Right now, and again, this strategy is going to change back and forth. That's the fun thing about tag team. Who's got the hot hand? Right now in Bowling Bullies, we don't really know who's got the hot hand. The only thing that we do know is that Eva is making the spares a lot better than Dennis is at this point. On the other side of the wall, Extreme Chaos, right now, Tim Robinson clearly has the better look between both him and Teddy. And Tim's starting off game 3. And Tim's starting off with a strike. Right now, strike on the side for Extreme Chaos, spare on the side for Bowling Bullies. Theoretically, we're still tied. Tim throws a strike over here. We're no longer tied. And he gets the 10-pin out. Extreme Chaos right now takes a very quick lead in Game 3. Of course, right now, so far, the first 2 games, the team that has taken the quick lead has not won the game. We'll see if that changes, if that holds course. Wow. Dennis is throwing a good shot. He's not getting the good results. 9-pin right now. A couple of members from New York are coming around and hanging out, trying to give Bowling Bully some advice. New York, however, has been 0 for 2 this weekend in title and #1 contenders matches. It looks like Knox will make the spare. He does. Extreme Chaos right now with a quick lead. This is an Ava chatting strategy a little bit here. Ava, again, cannot be tagged in at this point. It's only the 3rd frame. Knox right now looking to get something in the 3rd going on here, and that's a 5-pin. Now let's chat about the 5-pin here in UBA culture. Now that we're at this, if you have a 5-pin and you make it, no problem. If you have a 5-pin and you miss it, depending on the club that you're part of, lots of bad things will happen to you. In this case, if you're on the Bowling Bullies, if you miss a 5-pin, you get powdered, which is the equivalent to either being slapped or coated in baby powder, depending on how they want to do this. So Dennis really does not want to miss this. Fortunately for him, he won't. Other teams will fine you anywhere between $5 to $25. There is a team that is out there that if you miss a lone 5-pin like that, you've got to cough up 25 bucks. Yipes. That's good incentive to not miss the 5-pin. Robinson right now is looking for good incentive to keep striking, and he does. 3 in a row for Robinson. Now both teams have finished the 3rd frame. They can tag in if they want, and in this case they did. That is an interesting tag. I'm not sure if I would have made that one. Now the reason why I say that is that I was part of a team that got to a title match and won the #1 contendership. And our goal is we always play with a bowler with a hot hand. In this case, you got 3 in a row, and you don't have that big of a lead. Lying right now, he can make a 4 in a row right here. He does. Good tag. I take that back. Good tag exchange from Extreme Chaos. Longacre has proved me wrong. And he grins at me going around, no, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first person to say it. So he gets it. That's 4 in a row for Extreme Chaos. No, I'm good. Ava right now, 4th frame, that ball's coming in. Someone asked me if I needed help. I don't. Ava right now does. 2-10 up there on the board. All right, now that ball's going to hurry up, and it won't. Bullies right now, first of all, strikes. Spares do not beat strikes. Opens definitely do not beat strikes. Bowling Bullies right now are in a world of trouble as we go into the 5th frame. They're already down by 45. And if Extreme Chaos keeps striking, they're going to be down by a lot more. Need at least a strike or something here to stop the bleeding. Fifth frame here coming up. Is that going to be a strike? No, it's not. Yeah, both of them, neither of them right now have figured it out. It's sort of like in the first game, they were both lined in. Right now, in Game 3, it is Extreme Chaos that they were both lined in. Bullies right now looking to figure something out here. 3-6-10 up on the board. Shot here. That ball's going to have to hurry. It does not. I mean, right now, it's the 5th frame, and the Bullies have got 74. Now, unless X-Treme Chaos royally, and I mean royally, decides to give themselves a course in how to screw up a game, and that has happened before in the history of the UBA. But unless they decide to do that, the X-Treme Chaos is in great shape to win Game 3, take the 2-1 lead, and no 4-pin up there. And right now, if I am bowling Bullies, I spend the second half of Game 3 trying to figure out how to score a line. I mean, right now, they're down by 53. They're going to have to strike out, and X-Treme Chaos is going to have to make a lot of mistakes for them to get back into this. I mean, a lot of mistakes. Robinson right now, I'm sorry, Longacre right now, that looks good. There's a funky southpaw way to shoot, but he does, and that looks good. Tim right now getting tagged in. That is tag number 2. They've got 2 more to go. Robinson coming in. That ball looks good. It is. Another strike on the board for Tim Robinson. X-Treme Chaos right now is looking to build their lead. Best, if they go out the door, 279. Bowling Bullies, best they can do, 224. So again, 55-pin deficit. And right now, neither bowler looking like they have anything keeping it in the game. Now, the other thing about the 4 tags, and I will get to this momentarily, after Lady E, Eva Purcell throws her shot. Ball looks good up there. Ooh, 8-pin. Now Lady E is feeling a little bit of what Dennis Knox was feeling earlier on that game. Dennis threw that up there, and they got 9. Yeah, Dennis is pulling out the artillery, and when I mean the artillery, I mean the alcohol. Purcell right now looking to make the 8-pin. He will. Well, they got a mark. Except those marks right now need to be strikes. There's that tag. Dennis finally gets tagged back in. Both teams have 2 tags left to go. Now, what I was saying before about the tags. If you don't get in 4 tags, you automatically lose. X-Treme Chaos definitely needs to follow that to make sure that they don't inadvertently screw that up. Now, if I'm bowling Bullies, if somebody has figured it out and the other person hasn't, and you know you're not going to win the game, maybe you don't have the 4 tags and you just keep the person in there. You know you're going to have to lose the game, but you're going to have somebody that finally gets a line. So there's a line from Dennis. That is the light mixer that has been pretty effective this weekend. Longacre right now. Well, looks good. It is. X-Treme Chaos right now going down the path. Goes out the door, 279. X-Treme Chaos only needs 1 more tag for Tim Robinson. And then they're good in terms of tags. Bowling Bullies still need 2 more to go, but again, this match is pretty much a fait accompli at this point, or this game is pretty much a fait accompli at this point. Longacre with the strike in the 8th. Now, there have been teams that have shot 300 before, and obviously it's not going to happen this game, but I'm sure that Longacre would love that 4-pin back in the 5th frame. Knox right now, that's a little bit on the high side, 6'10". Again, they're looking for something. The only good thing possibly for the Bowling Bullies is that almost most of the strikes that have been thrown by Robinson. Longacre has thrown a couple. I'm not sure how lined in that he is, and he's got to start game 4. And they need to hope that Longacre is not as lined in as Robinson is. They also need to hope that Dennis Knox throws as few frames as humanly possible at this moment, because right now he needs a GPS to find a spare shot. You know, joking around yesterday with a couple of the tag teams, they've always said that sometimes your leadoff higher average bowler needs to rely on the lower average bowler a little bit here for at least a pickup, or if not a complete overhaul. Purcell right now open in the 9th frame. Now the question is almost sort of like, what the heck happened here? Bowling Bullies, game 1, 230 and change, and they seem locked, and they've been going downhill since. Even right now, the Bullies are currently getting bullied. They have a 130 in the 9th frame. If they do not mark in the 10th and Extreme Chaos strikes out, Robinson's in. There's no funny business going on here. In the 9th frame, he's finishing this match off. If Extreme Chaos strikes out and Bowling Bullies do not mark, Extreme Chaos will have doubled the Bowling Bullies score. Yipes. Tenth frame here coming up. Robinson's looking to bang, and he does. 5 in a row for Extreme Chaos. Right now, there's a potential that Extreme Chaos in the 10 frames, there's only going to be 1 4-pin separating them from 300. That being the 5th. And this is how things can change very, very quickly in a best-of-7 UBA match. Game 2 here. This one's over. There's another one. Extreme Chaos will be somewhere in the 270s. Knox right now. That looks like a much better shot for the Bullies. However, game 3, it doesn't matter that 4-pin. Extreme Chaos is going to finish with a 278. Looks like Dennis Knox has found something. However, one of my favorite movies of all time is a great horror classic called Saturday the 14th. There's a great quote in that movie saying, "You've locked the barn door after the horses have eaten the children." And in this case, that is exactly what's happened. Or in normal layman terms, too little, too late. And it looks good there. However, he needed it the 9 frames before that. At the end of game 3, Extreme Chaos 278. Bowling Bullies 160, and it is Extreme Chaos that has the lead in this match. They're up 2-1. All right, Teddy Longacre will start game 4. So, if you've been watching this match at the end of game 1 and you saw 238 to 181 and you decided to go out and get a sandwich and then come back and ask how many games has Bowling Bullies won since that time, the answer is 0. Extreme Chaos has won the next 2, and now Extreme Chaos is up 2-1. Longacre right now is starting, and he leaves a 3-6. Now, as I was saying before, and I'm not disparaging any bowlers here because there's no reason to, but it looked like Longacre did not have as good of a look as Robinson did in game 3. And I think when the game is over, I think maybe you could have put Teddy in there for a couple more frames. We'll see how well that works out. Again, Teddy in game 4, he's got to fill the first 3 before Robinson can come in. Right now they have an advantage because Robinson definitely looks like he's got these lanes down. Purcell's job is to try to get Dennis Knox as much of a lead as possible. And if she starts throwing strikes, you may want to keep her in. There's Eva right now, game 4. It looks like a ball change there, and it looks like she got the light mixer, and it's good. Light mixers here is working very, very well as we go to the second frame. Both bowlers on marks. Purcell here with a strike. So right now, looking for a double here. Gets it. Gets him and goes down. Very different Eva Purcell now than what we saw in Game 3. And she needs to hope that that her partner, Dennis Knox, also has a better look. They may also want to hope that Robinson also has a different look. Because Robinson Game 3 on fire. However, it is not, right now, it is not Robinson bowling. Robinson's got to be in the sidelines for the first 3 frames. Longacre is up. Or I should say, Longacre's already down. Like a good ball. That ball's got to hook a little bit. It does. Out of trouble, 5-8, or 5-9, I'm sorry. Bullies right now, after being down 2-1, have taken a quick lead in Game 4, front 2. If you're Longacre, your goal here is to keep it clean. Looks okay. He was shrugging his shoulders like, where was that first ball? And that's a good question. Where was that first ball? That's a good spare. Longacre's job right now, though, is to keep it at least close with 3 marks so that the deficit is not too bad so Robinson can come in and do some deficit chopping. That is a goal at this point. Obviously, if he so strikes, even better. Longacre coming in. That ball looks good. There's a strike. I still have Teddy shaking his head up and down going, what the heck's going on here? But Longacre, for the most part, did his job, and Purcell, for the most part, is doing hers. Right now, Bullies up. And that ball looks good. She's got the front 3. Here come the Bullies. Now, here's an interesting question. Do you tag at this point? Now, I'm not necessarily sure you do, but they're going to, and I'll explain why I say that momentarily. So Dennis Knox comes in. That is tag number 1 in the 4th frame. And the reason why I say that is that, yes, Dennis has found a look, but that look was on lane 2. That look was not on lane 1. Here we go, Dennis Knox, frame 4. And that is why I'm not sure you necessarily do that tag. Bowling Movie cheering. All of a sudden, we've got a New York contingency behind us. And that's coming in. And one of the reasons why... One of the reasons why I think that tag shouldn't be happening until later is because, again, he was lying on lane 2 and not lane 1. Knox is coming in, and he'll make the spare. At least the spare issues seem to have vanished a little bit here. However, that 10-pin means that Extreme Chaos can chop this down a little bit. Right now, a double here can cut this to a 1-pin game. Robinson up right now. That ball looks good. He's got the light mix. Does not fall down. 8-pin. I probably put Knox in the 5th, and I probably have Eva shooting it in the 4th. But you know what? That's their decisions. I'm just here to commentate. And I'm also here to say Robinson should make the 8-pin, and he does. Extreme Chaos is down by 21 as we go into the 5th frame. It's almost, I'm not saying it's too early to panic for bowling Bullies, but you really don't want to go down 3-1. You definitely want to at least tie this up to a piece. That ball looks good. It is. Another strike for Robinson. Extreme Chaos is right there. However, they have not gotten the carry. Bowling Bully has. At least this game. Knox is currently still in, and this is probably where I would have made that tag earlier on. I'm not sure if I would have made that tag when he's on lane 1. Now he's on lane 2. Let's see if he keeps the look that he had there earlier. There's that ball. That shot looks good, and the mixer's there. Nope, 7-pin. Well, either or the other. In this case, maybe it wouldn't have mattered either way. Regardless, he's got a 7-pin. Last time he had a 7-pin, it went wide right. We're going to see if he makes the adjustment here. I don't know if he... No, he did not make the adjustment. That 7-pin is still there. That is now Knox's second whiff on the 7-pin. And this time, that can cost him the lead as we go into the 6th frame. Now, in the rules of tag team, you can tag in the middle of the frame. So he could have tagged Eva in to make that shot. He did not do that. Knox right now, 6th frame. That ball's a little bit, and another 10-pin. This is the corner pin. Now the question is he going to make the in-frame tag? And it looks like he is. I would say, based on his lack of corner pin shooting so far today, that is a good call. That is tag number 2. Now, in terms of tag team, here's how this works. You can tag in the middle of a frame. However, what this means is that you must throw the first ball. You must throw the first ball in the next frame. Purcell says that she's going to make this with no problem. Two straight 1-pin opens for Bowling Bullies, and instead of a 21-pin lead, it is now turning into a deficit. Extreme Chaos, already up 2-1, is looking to make this 3-1. Robinson up here looking to take advantage, and not completely. Leaves himself a 4-pin. However, a spare and count will give Extreme Chaos the lead in the 6th frame. Right now, still a very close game here in Game 4. Bowling Bullies can go out for a 236. Extreme Chaos can go out for a 248. I'm sorry, 238. Robinson makes a spare. We go in 7th frame. Right now, Bowling Bullies have 2 tags they need to make. Extreme Chaos has 3 tags they need to make. As we go into the 7th frame. Robinson right now. That ball's good. Strike from Robinson. Extreme Chaos now has a 2-pin lead and a guaranteed 2-pin lead as we go back over the Bowling Bullies. As I said before, because that tag was mid-frame, Purcell must start the 7th frame. You got 1 tag. You need 3 more. So right now, it's going in. That looks like Mixer. Got the 2-4. Now, she's completed her requirements of the tag, which is 1 full first ball frame. So she can tag out if she wants. My guess is she's not going to. She's going to make the spare. Or attempt to make the spare, but I have faith. I've got faith in Eva's bowling. Not sure I have faith in Dennis's spare shooting abilities right now, but I have faith in Eva's bowling. And I have good reason to have faith in her bowling. She makes a spare. Right now, 2-pin game. Extreme Chaos with a 2-pin lead and a strike going in the 8th frame. Bowling Bullies also have a mark. They got a spare. 2-pin advantage for Extreme as we go into the 8th frame. Extreme Chaos already up 2-1.
UBA bowlers, all of your pots and brackets are posted, so please go check, make sure all scores are correct, and we will pay out in 5 minutes. Go check all your scores, make sure everything's correct. Thank you.
Right now, 6-10, out of trouble. Now, Tim was asking me earlier from Extreme Chaos how many tags they have. They've only made 1, so they got to make 3 more, which means, again, we're going to see Teddy Longacre in here 2 more times. Right now, though, they've been clean. If they stay clean, they're going to be in a good position to win this game just because Bowling Bullies are going to need to throw some strings up on the board. And right now, with the exception of Ava's 3, that has not happened. Ava, they're going to keep her in to make the spare, which I think is a smart move, and this pays off. Spare right now for the Bowling Bullies. They've got a 134 in the 7th. They can go out for a 214. Right now, Extreme Chaos with a couple more strikes here can seal this one up, and they will go up to 3-1 should that happen. Longacre here, big shot in the 8th frame. There's the shot. That ball looks a lot better. Tim says good ball. I agree with him. And so the lanes, big double for Extreme Chaos. Now, Extreme Chaos is now up by 14. Now they're going to make the tag. That is tag number 2. And now that is tag number 3. That is 3. You got 1 more left. Robinson right now. Big shot here if he hits it, and he does not. 10-pin. That would have given Extreme Chaos a very nice cushion going into the 10th, and obviously could not get locked out. However, not the case. Oh, he needs to hold on here. He does. Well, yeah, bonus. That was a little bit scary. So right now, 167 in the bank. The best they can do is 217. Best Bowling Bullies can do is 214. This is theoretically a 3-pin game at this point. Knox is up in the 9th. Strike here would be very critical if he hits it, and he is not. 10-pin goes up there. Now, who's going to take this shot? Because you need to make this spare. If you don't make this spare, the game is pretty much over at this point. Looks like he'll throw that all the way out, and that'll hit, and that'll be good. So, that is tag number 3. Eva's going to come in for tag number 4. Here is the situation. Any sort of mark forces Extreme Chaos to show up. Obviously, a double will force Extreme Chaos to throw a mark in the 10th. Priscilla's first ball in the 10th. It'd be nice to have the strike here, and she does. Well, based on that, that will force Extreme Chaos to throw at least a 9 in the 10th frame to guarantee that they get the win. And we've all seen bowling. We've all seen the Happy Big Four, the Greek Church, come up an inopportune time. So that's not, if you need a 9 or an 8, that's not necessarily a gimme. All right, the second shot here will guarantee that Extreme Chaos has to throw a mark. Yeah, second ball in the 10th frame. That ball, not good. 4-7-10. Now, again, pin count here is very, very, very important. Right now, they need 7 to win. If Eva gets 2, then that moves up to 8. And again, pin count means everything. You don't know what they're going to throw on that first ball. And again, as a bowler, you got to think, you know what? Make them shoot it. Make them throw as much as they can. So it looks like she's, oh, I don't know if I would have done that. She went for the home run. But now all of a sudden the task was a lot less daunting. And someone goes over to Ava, and that may have been Paul Rodriguez, is saying you can't bowl tag by yourself. And that is correct. Robinson is going here. This is for game 4 and didn't do it. Didn't get the strike. However, he got more than enough to take game 4. Assuming, of course, that they do that, which is the 4th tag. That is tag number 4. That is now a legal tag unit. The interesting thing about this is, let's just say that he threw a bad shot and he threw a wash and he didn't get the pins. He's got to tag his partner because of his, if he doesn't make the spare, well, he's not going to make the spare. Oh, he does make the spare there. Oh, myself of little faith.
We have started the check-in process for the 230 squad. I only need one person from each team. If your team is here, to come into the room and check in your team. If you have any lineup changes, you need to come into that same room to make your lineup change. That room is located behind lanes 41 and 42. Your on-other side action will be handled behind lanes 3 and 4.
Field ball is good. Longacre with a huge spare set. At the end of game 4, Extreme Chaos 206. Bowling Bullies 190. And right now, Extreme Chaos is up 3 games to 1, and they are 1 game away for going after the title in March. Game 5 is starting up. Dennis is starting for the Bullies. Robinson starting for Extreme Chaos. Knox is coming out. That ball looks good. Now, what we say here in this situation, right now, Extreme Chaos is up 3-1 on Bowling Bullies. And right now, that also means, as I use another UBA quote, the margin of error is 0. Which means there's 3 games left. Bowling Bullies must win all 3, or it's Extreme Chaos that's going to go after the title in March. And Robinson almost started with a big mess. Leaves a 7-pin. Definitely much more makeable than the 710. And keep in mind, he already left that once today. This also is something that my friend Coco, where the heck she is, because I know that she's here. I heard her around here. Something called classic walk down activated, and that usually happens when your margin of error is 0 and you're down at least either 3-1 or 3-zip. Coco doesn't want to hang out. Now, I want you to explain what walk down activated means for all those that are just experiencing this for the first time.
Walk down activated means you can be down a certain amount of games and you just walk them down and come back to tie and maybe eventually win. That's what walk down activated means.
So if you're down 3-1 and you need the next 3, that would be a walk down activation.
Correct.
So right now we're in walk down activation mode.
Yeah. And bowling, not for nothing, but Bowling Bullies is going to pull it out. That's just my personal opinion.
That's your hopes.
That's my knowledge. I already know this is going to happen.
Okay, well, then she knows what's going to happen. There's no reason to continue this anymore.
That's what I say.
Okay. I'm glad that's what Coco says. And that's what Dennis Knox wants to say. And right now, that double means Bowling Bullies, again, has a quick lead. They've been really good at getting the quick leads. The question is, can they hold on to it? They did not hold on to it game 4, and that's why they're down 3-1. And again, both bowlers must shoot the first 3 frames before anybody else can go in. But based on both bowlers' looks, I think both bowlers are going to be in there for a while. I don't see tags happening anytime soon. Knocks in, 3rd frame. That ball looks good. A little light, but the light hits is what's been carrying right now, and that's exactly what's happened. Apparently, Colette Coco Williams yelling at her ex-teammates has put some fire into them. They start with the front 3. Robinson right now, 3rd frame. Robinson's looking for a double of his own if he can get that going, and he does not. 3-6-10. Now, again, just remind everybody of the stakes. Well, Robinson's going to make the spare here, which he will. Just a reminder on the stakes. If Extreme Chaos wins, they go to March title shot. If Extreme Chaos does not win this game, we're going to a Game 6. So Extreme Chaos can't afford to lose the next game and the game after that. Longacre coming up here, third frame. That ball is not good at all. 4-6-10. Ball checked up, a little high, and eek. And basically, if you're chasing someone that shot the first three, you absolutely don't want to do that in the fourth frame. And there's an open, and now Extreme Chaos is in great danger of seeing this go to a Game 6. And I say that, and we're only in the fourth frame. And remember when I said both teams are not going to be switching for a while? Wrong. Again, this is why I'm commenting and not actually bowling at this point. Eva right now is in there, frame 4. It's a huge opportunity here to take a big lead in the fourth game. Does not happen. We got a bucket. 2, 4, 5, 8. However, a spare, and they'll still have a 30-pin lead going into the fifth frame. Again, must-win game. That's not a bad position to be in. But yeah, a couple strikes, this game would have been over. 30 pins is certainly something that you can overcome, especially early on in the game. 60 or 70, however, much harder. All right, looks like she's going to make the spare here, and she will. Looked light at the beginning, but her ball has been hooking in. That works well. And the fan club there, even though Colette is not there anymore, their fan club is certainly getting a little bit rowdy. This is good for the Bullies. Bullies right now up by 30 exactly as we go into the fifth frame of Game 5. They are trailing in this match 3 games to 1 to Extreme, so they've got to win this one, and the next one, and the next one. But first, they got to win this one. First shot coming up, and that looks good. Bowling Bullies right now, it's almost a repeat of what we saw in Game 4. Both teammates figuring out where the pocket is. That's good for them. Robinson back in for Extreme Chaos. Actually, still in there. Still tag number 1. Actually, no, I'm sorry, tag number 2. And 10-pin. Very quick cameo appearance in this game for Teddy Longacre in the 4th frame. And again, you got to see him again. I don't know if it's going to be too late at that point. Robinson will make the spare. Going into the second half of Game 5. Still a 30-pin contest. Bowling Bullies still up by 30. However, they're on a strike, so they can increase it in the next couple of frames coming up. And Teddy and Tim are thinking about whether or not they want to make a tag or not. They are not. Or Tim maybe is pointing at Teddy and saying, hey, watch what I do here, which is possible. Ball coming up, 6th frame. That ball looks good, and it, ooh, 10-pin. I was about to say, and it is. Nope. 10-pin coming up. That did look good. Westbrook Lane's always sometimes an adventure in terms of shooting. But again, a lot of the time, it's about angle of entry, and it's about speed. Robinson makes a spare. And right now, Extreme Chaos still down by around 30. If Eva Purcell wants to throw a couple more strikes here, they're going to be down by more. Again, Dennis Knox right now still sitting on the sidelines. Bowling Bullies still need 3 tags. Extreme Chaos only needs 2. Eva right now looking to double up. Doesn't do it. At least a 4-pin. Again, a safe lead. It's definitely a makeable spare. That ball looks like it'll. There she goes. Turn, 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 turn. It turned. No worries. Gets a spare. Bowling Bullies is now up by 31 as we go into the 7th frame, and that is tag. Number 2, back to Dennis. Dennis here starting the 7th frame. Both teams now need it to make 2 more tags. Dennis rocks tonight, and now that ball looks good. It's in there. Strike from Dennis Knox. Bowling Bullies want to extend this match to a game 6. And they will if they keep going. Long raker up for Extreme Chaos. He didn't like that shot, and there's a reason for it. 3-6-10. You can always tell with the body language how things are going in terms of how they throw their shot. Teddy, for the most part, has had that same demeanor of bowing the head down, grasping the legs. Right now, 3-6-10, there's a reason for it. Tim Robinson, again, could tag in to make the spares, keeping Teddy in there. Longacre right now, that ball leads to check. It does. Right now, Extreme Chaos, there is their 4th and final tag. Tim Robinson will be in the rest of the way. It's actually a good strategy when you think about it. Extreme Chaos really needs to get back into this match, and they really need to string. If you're going to do that, you need to get the guy in there to have the position to be stringing. And Tim's going to make me look like a genius at this point. There's one. Extreme Chaos, if they go out the door, is a 212. Right now, if the Bowling Bullies go Dutch, which means if they interchange between strike spare, it'll be a 216. So theoretically, as long as there's no opens on the Bowling Bullies side, they'll be fine. Dennis here, 8th frame. Oy. And of course that I've said that, there's a red number up on the board, 4-5. Now, of course, here's the catch in the question. Who do you have shooting that spare? I think I probably tag in Eva at this point. However, Dennis thinks he's going to make it himself. Not so sure I like this. Dennis right now, that ball needs to hook a little bit. It does not. And remember when I said all they had to do is stay clean and they won't be in trouble? Well, they didn't stay clean. And right now, they're still okay for right now. But it's now a 2-pin game. Eva right now is going to take the 9th frame. Bowling Bullies still in control of their destiny. If they strike out, it's a 224, and they will. And that will be good enough. Ninth frame coming up. Is that ball going to check? It is. And there's a strike, and that is a big one. Big strike for Eva Purcell for the Bowling Bullies right there. So right now, again, if they go out the door, it's 224. The Extreme Chaos goes out the door, it's a 212. I think I said 222, and I'm wrong. It's a 212. Big strike here for Robinson. As I said, Extreme Chaos has got a string, and they need to string now. There's a ball in the 9th frame. He pretty much has to have this one, and he does. That is a buried strike from Tim Robinson. Now, here we go into the 10th frame. Theoretically, right now, Extreme Chaos is trailing by 22, but they're on a double, so they're really only trailing by 12 as we go into the 10th. Another strike here. Bowling Bullies have got to show up in the 10th frame. First shot here by Robinson. This would be huge if he gets it, and he does not. 10-pin. Best they can do right now is a 191. If my math is correct, that means the Bowling Bullies must have a combination of 9 in the 10th frame. So spare here is still major, and he gets it. That means the Bowling Bullies will have to shoot some sort of either a 9. Yeah, 9 will do it. And since this is not on a spare, they don't need a mark. It's 9 in a combination, 2 balls. That is assuming that Tim gets a strike here, and he will. Extreme Chaos right now in the building, 191. Dennis is in for the 10th. That is their 4th and final tag, so their tag set is good. Any combination of 9, and we get a game 6. This is for game 5. That's a combination of 9. That is good. And I'm sure Dennis is breathing a sigh of relief knowing he does not need to make that 10-pin. And he laughs at me going, yep. And it's a good thing that, oh, he makes the 10-pin. Woo! We have cause for celebration. Dennis Knox made a 10-pin. And that really didn't matter, but they're really happy that they did not do that on that first ball. At the end of game 5, Bowling Bullies 201, Extreme Chaos 191. We're going to have a game 6. And Teddy will start. This one has been a fun back-and-forth match that you probably expect to see in a number 1 contenders match. So right now, Bowling Bullies won game 1. Extreme Chaos took the next 3. They're threatening to close it out in 5. Bowling Bullies said, Now we got a game 6. And we're starting with Teddy Longacre, Extreme Chaos, Trilene Assassin. And right now, that's a good start. Strike. Still not too happy about what he's doing, but the pins are going down. I will say that he just said he's bowling like donkey. Except replace the donkey with the body part of your choice. Again, family fun, friendly commentary here, so we'll just you can be creative in terms of what he was saying. I'm sure you can figure it out at this point. Purcell right now, first frame. That ball's dead solid. He's been hitting it before. Leaves the 9-pin. Whoa. 9-pin is up there. And Bowling Bullies have been snake bit by that a lot this match. When you think it's a strike, and it's not a strike. Spare incoming coming up, and we got it. Both bowlers on marks. We go into frame 2. Eve is just sort of like, how much better can I throw it? And Dennis is like, exactly, and I agree. That was a well-placed ball. Nothing you can do about that. Except stare at a 9-pin. That's all you can do. Second frame coming up. Ball looks good. Ooh, that one's a little bit high. That one jumped out a little bit, 6'10". Thought that ball looked good when I said it looked good, and then all of a sudden it jumped up, and ball didn't look that good anymore. Still makeable spare. And again, remember, Eva must play the first 3 frames. Teddy must also play the first 3 frames. I'm hearing Ted talk behind me, telling Teddy he's got to slow the ball down, and he's right. Teddy's maybe almost a little bit too geeked up today. A little bit on the hype side. Eva right now looking to convert the spare. She does. 2 marks on the ball. 2 marks for the Bullies on the ball. But Longacre here with a strike can give Extreme Chaos at least a 12-pin lead. Again, any sort of mark, because he's on a strike, Extreme Chaos will take a little bit of a lead. Chaos on there. I hear an oh no, and he gets the carry anyway. Dennis Knox just had the look of disgust over there, seeing his partner leaving stone 8s and stone 9s, and all of a sudden that went right up the cross peak and everything goes down. Extreme Chaos, and sometimes that happens. Extreme Chaos right now with a 12-pin lead going into the 3rd frame. Another strike here, and it's 22 plus. That ball, hey. Tim said, here you go, and he did get the ball out. That ball did not come in, though. And again, it is only the 3rd frame, so Tim cannot tag in to try to make that. That being said, this is a makeable spare, and if he throws his first ball like he's been doing on the carry, he'll get this one. There's a ball. There's a carry. No, does not make it. And Extreme's chance to get a very early lead and maybe put some distance away is squashed. Advantage back to the bowling Bullies, assuming that Purcell can throw a mark here. Ball's a little bit on the high side. Out of trouble, though. Leaves a 3-pin. Spare right now will give the Bullies the lead. Be a small lead, but you'd always rather be up a small amount than down a small amount. Especially in this, and especially at the end of the 10th frame. Right now, that ball looks good, and we know it's going to naturally hook a little bit to the left. So that's spare. 3 spares in a row for the Bullies. That puts them in the lead, and Eva, after 3 frames, immediately tags in, or tags out, and tags in Dennis. That is tag number 1. Dennis right now looking for a little bit of power, a little bit of a mix, and he gets both. Bullies right now will at least hold on to the lead in the 4th frame. Robinson immediately is tagged in. He really said he can for Extreme Chaos. He's looking to counter that with a strike in front of his own, and he does. Back to a 3-pin advantage for Bowling Bullies as we go into the 5th frame of Game 6. Extreme Chaos is up 3-2. If they win, they get the title shot in March. If Bowling Bullies win this game, then we go to the favorite words in sports, Game 7. Tim looking to double. Does not do that. 10-pin. Tim will make the spare. However, a huge advantage, huge opportunity for them to take a sizable advantage on the Bullies' end. Knox over here, looking to make it a double for the Bullies. He does. And that is one of the first times during this match we actually see a ball in the pocket with all the pins go down. I figured Dennis would understand my humor on that one. We're now going in the second half of Game 6. Bowling Bullies, who need to win this game to force a Game 7, are up by 13. There's a shot. That ball looks in the pocket. 3 in a row for the Bullies, and all of a sudden, the fan club's going, that's how you should be throwing everything. And now he's got an even bigger fan club. Yeah, and you get a drink for it. Whatever helps. Longacre back in for Extreme Chaos. Leaves a 6-pin. Right now, Extreme Chaos trying to weather the storm here, or at least trying to figure something out. Right now, they're down by 25. You do not want to be down by any more. The only good thing for them, they can afford to lose this game. That spare looks good to me, and it is. Longacre right now with this spare, it looks like we can have another tag. And we will. Tay saying, I'm trying to figure it out. Robinson back in. That is tag number 3. And that is strike number 1. Again, at least the strikes are telling or forcing the Bullies to keep throwing strikes. And again, Extreme Chaos is in that position. Dennis knocks right now. That is definitely not going to be a strike unless the pin goes down. It does not. That is 3. And Tim asked me, that is our 3rd tag, and the answer is yes. And the reason why I say that is Bowling Bullies have only had 1 tag. They still need to make 3 more, and they're in the 8th frame. They realize that. Here comes Eva in the 8th. Right now, Bowling Bullies with a 23-pin lead going to the 8th frame. Again, this is a game they must have. Eva shot in the 8th frame. That ball's got to check out a little bit. It does. She gets out that 8-pin. Strike there in the 8th. However, that 9 spare in the 7th frame means that Extreme Chaos has a chance to chop more wood off of that lead. Bowling Bullies go out the door. That is a 246. Right now, 233 for Extreme Chaos. Robinson right now, he's looking to chain like they did last game. There's the chain, 8th frame. Double for Extreme Chaos, and all of a sudden it is now a 13-pin game as we go into the 9th frame. Chaos right now can still go out 233. Question is, what strategy is the Bowling Bullies going to have? They have 2 tags to make here. They can either tag in the 9th or tag in the 10th, and then of course the 4th tag would be Ava throwing the fill. Just like I'm pretty sure Extreme's 4th tag is going to be Longacre with the fill. He didn't like that one, and there's a reason, 10-pin. Oh, and that's a disaster. Left the 10-pin and then opened on top of that. Now,
again, we have started the check-in process for the 230 squad. We are now just over 30 minutes out. If your team is here, please come into the room behind.
Bowling Bullies a huge advantage to force this to a game 7, and he leaves a 5-pin. Now, oh. Well, you know, theoretically, he could tag even to make the 5-pin. Ava goes, Okay, they're good.
just to talk to the house.
Dennis better not miss this one, and he doesn't.
One person each team behind
There's actually been a match early on this year in Game 7 in the 10th frame. Someone missed a 5-pin, and the other person struck out to win the match in Game 7. That has already happened this year. You do not want it to happen now. They're like, it won't happen now. All right, Eva's starting the 10th frame. Oh, that's not good. The only good thing that happened was that miss of the 10-pin in the 9th frame. Because of that, they have enough. Because right now they got 202, and the best Extreme Chaos can have is 200. So that opens not. I'm assuming that's an open. That split's not going to hurt them. They pick it up, make it interesting. Eva's not going to make it interesting. She'll get 1. Bowling Bullies will be in the clubhouse with the 203, and that's going to be enough. Longacre in the 10th. Doesn't matter what Extreme Chaos does, they're going to get shut out. And what that means is we're going to have a Game 7. That does not matter, and at this point, though, he does make the spare. Teddy's going to finish with a 190. But Bowling Bullies have done enough. At the end of Game 6, 203, 190, Bowling Bullies win. And all of a sudden, after 6 games, we are tied 3 apiece, and we're down to a Game 7. And here we go. Yeah, first shot, Dennis was not very happy with, and there's a reason why. 6-9-10. It's real simple. 1 game. Whoever wins gets a shot at the title in March against dysfunctional bowlers. And he'll make the spare. And away we go. Whoever starts Game 1 will be starting Game 7. In this case, Dennis Knox and Tim Robinson. Robinson's first shot out, all 10 down. Extreme Chaos starts out frame 1 with a strike. Strike over here in Game 2. And frame 2, they'll have a little bit of a lead. Looking to take the lead here, and they will. Quick double on the board for Extreme Chaos. Knox right now, second frame for the Bullies. That's a good ball. He probably wanted that first shot back in the first frame. Now the question becomes, Can he make that adjustment? And what he didn't do in the first frame. Shot coming down. The ball's going to hook a little bit. It does. All of a sudden now we got uh-oh going on. Both teams now laying everything out. Now strategy is going to be crucial in this game. Again, there is no game 8. This is it. Robinson right now looking to keep the lead with a strike. Here he does. 3 in a row for Extreme Chaos. Both teams coming out on fire at this point. 4th frame. Robinson didn't even look at Teddy. He's taking this. He may be taking this for a while. We'll see what the Bullies decide to do. Robinson looking for 4. A little light headpin. Funny thing is this, if he hit that 10 pin in the 9th frame, there is no game 7. Looks like he'll hit it now, though, and he does. Give it Purcell in. That is tag number 1 for the Bullies. And she gets it out, including the 9 pin that threatened to go up there. Bullies now take the lead as we go into the 5th frame of game 7. That is tag number 1 for the Bullies. They have 3 to go. Extreme Chaos has not used any tags yet. Comes Purcell, 5th frame. That ball's going to hook a little bit. It does. 4 in a row for the Bullies. After that, I don't know what that was from Dennis in the 1st frame. Both Eva and Dennis are feeling it at this point. Tag coming in right now. That's actually not a bad place to put the tag. Teddy Longacre. Longacre coming down. That ball's got to hold a little bit here. Does not. 1-3. Actually, 1-3-9. Now again, Tim Robinson does not. That pin go down? I have no idea. Yeah, add the 3 up there. And can you call them up to add the 3 up there on lane 2? Have them add the 3 on lane 2. You see not. Okay. Add the 3 pin? Yeah, add the 3 pin. Thank you, sir. Okay. So now again, according to the tag team rules, and I put this out, you can make a mid-frame tag, meaning that you have the 139 up there. If Tim does not feel comfortable about what Teddy is doing, they can make the tag here, and Tim can shoot the spare. Or they can keep Teddy in there. In this case, it is a Game 7. So whatever decision that they make, it's going to be very crucial in terms of their game plans. So there's ups and downs to look at it. You know that Teddy is going to have to come back in at least one more frame. Maybe you want him here to make the tag. Maybe you don't. And why I say that out loud, Teddy and Tim Robinson Jr. are going to have that conversation right now. And right now I am back with Coco, Colette, who said, walk down activated, there's going to be a Game 7, and she's absolutely right. This is Game 7 right now. It's what you came to see. Bowling Bullies have gotten their act together after looking really bad. Well, if they shoot 290, they will win.
I called it.
Well, you did call it. We'll see if it actually happens. That is the question.
What happened?
Yeah, we have to add a pin up there on lane 2.
I'll be in the back.
You'll be in the back?
I'll be in the back.
You'll be cheering?
I'll be cheering.
All right, Coco's going to be cheering. All right, after that discussion, Tim is leaving Teddy in there. We shall see if that is a wise move or not. Teddy goes, it looks like that's a wise move, and he will cover. Spare is good. And it looks like we're going to make the tag, and that is tag number 2. Sixth frame coming up. Robinson looking to get back on the strike train, and he does. Messenger on the 10-pin. Priscilla in there, 6th frame. Bullies looking for 5 in a row here. Sure is. Again, Bullies are going to extend their lead out a little bit here. Their lead is not huge, though. That is certainly makeable. It's only a 24-pin lead, and there are 4 frames left to go in Game 7. They are making the tag. That is tag number 2. Knox is in. 7th frame coming up. Ball's coming up. That's a little high, but good. Buried. Go right now. Coco said 290. Right now, it could still be 290. Teddy right back in. That's tag number 3. And we got 2-9 up on the board. Now, again, as long as they stay clean, if you saw bowling... Teddy says, tag me, tag me, tag me. And if they do tag, that is their 4th and final tag, which means it is Tim Robinson Jr. the rest of the way. And I would actually say, as I intonated it before, that is a good tag move right there. It's definitely a good tag move. He made the spare. Now, again, if you remember, Bowling Bullies have not been the best team to close, and they've given Extreme Chaos chances to get into it, especially at the end of Game 6 with the opens. So right now they're down 34, but with 3 frames left, 34 is not insurmountable. That is makeable. Robinson here, 8th frame. That ball looks buried, and it is. Big strike from Robinson. Now, let's look at the screen here. Now, we know Bowling Bullies can go up for 290. Extreme Chaos can go out for a 246. So this one is not over yet. Knox is now in 8th frame. Buried. That is tag number 2. They have 2 more tags to go, and the game plan looks very much like they're throwing in Ava in the 9th frame. That is tag number 3. And basically now it doesn't matter what the Bowling Bullies do as long as Dennis Knox throws the last ball on the 10th. So now they can figure out who's going to start the 10th. However, that being said, still a game to go here. 9th frame, Bowling Bullies up by 44. Big shot right here. You have a Purcell right here. They're saying make sure it's a good one, and it is almost a good one. 6 pin up there. Now, remember I said before, Extreme Chaos can tag in the middle of the frame, and they certainly did. Bowling Bullies can do the exact same thing here. They can tag Dennison right now in the 9th frame. If they do that, it is all Dennis in the 10th. That being said, it clearly looks like that Dennis is going nowhere near spare shooting, which I don't think, based on his spare shooting, is a bad idea. Looks like she's going to make the spare, and she will. Now, Extreme Chaos's job is very simple. The next 3 balls that come out of Tim's hands must be strikes. And then we'll chat about the 10th frame in terms of what they need. 9th frame coming up. He's got to have this one, and he does not. Robinson's going to come in. He's going to make the spare. A very valiant effort by Extreme Chaos. However, all right. So mathematically, the game is out. So that is it.
All right.
Well, that's not it. They still have to finish out.
Yeah.
Because you still have to complete your game successfully in terms of the tags, which you have not done yet.
All right. Good. They didn't go 90. But
They did not go 90.
Like I said,
They did win. And that is their 4th tag.
Coffin! There you go.
And that is it. Well, he says nail in the coffin. The nail in the coffin was the non-strike in the 9th frame over by Extreme Chaos. But I will say this, Bowling Bullies earned this one. Extreme Chaos, very game. They shot numbers that they did, but Bowling Bullies, after the spare in the 1st frame, next 7 in a row, and that was good. Good match going up. Extreme Chaos, great effort. They're up 3-1, but Coco called it. Extreme walk down activated, walk down achieved at the end of Game 7. Bowling Bullies 258, and that is going to be good enough for them to move on. Yeah, this is the favorite part of everybody now, the interview. Well, you know, at the beginning, it's just sort of like, oh, I don't know if I want to bowl in front of the camera. And 1st game, really good. 2nd, 3rd, 4th game, what happened?
Transition. You know, got me. I had to figure out which equipment to switch to and area of the lane to play and just stay in the pocket. So it worked out well. This is the 2nd time we were down like 3-1 and we pulled it out.
You did. Congratulations on that. Great last game. Now, what finally turned the light bulb on and got your head out of the proverbial butt for both of you? Because both of you looked extremely lost at the end of Game 4.
Well, what happened with me, I didn't have enough liquor in my system. So I had to go to the bar, and I had to figure out the right equipment. I was fighting with the lanes, and my teammate said to me, let the ball do the work. And I've been trusting her, and she led me to victory once again.
Yep. Hey, we're a team.
Well, let's chat a little bit more, and I know we got to wrap this up, but let's chat about this a little bit more. March, you're going to have the tag team belts that are currently held by Raul Renteria and Brian Andes of Dysfunctional Bowlers. What's your thoughts on that matchup?
It's another game. I don't look at the bowlers. I look at what the lane is going to give me and play what the lanes give up.
That's it. Not even going to think that far ahead. Just going to come with my best foot and put it down, see what's going on. And make sure you're there to buy me a drink. We always got to put a drink in it.
You know what? I'll have Paul Rodriguez or Coco, get you a drink, especially because Coco called it. Any last words? Any shout outs? Anything you want to say?
Bowling Bullies.
Bowling Bullies.
Hey.
So far. Thank you for the support. See y'all in March.
Yep, exactly.
Bowling Bullies.
All right, thank you, Gordon.
So your final here are Bowling Bullies win a thriller 4-3 over Extreme Chaos. They are going to be going after the titles in March. For everybody here, this is Gordon Pepper signing off. Thanks for watching. UBA all day.